Do what you're told, okay?
Okay. But I haven't been told anything.
See how you're not go watch TV, baby. Hey, Ben. You asked me if you could keep the TV in there, right? Have you turned it down?
Yes.
Turn it down more. Come here. And I can hear you. You're being too loud, okay? Thank you. Echo. Hello. Echo.
What up, man?
What's good, my brother? How you doing?
Just chilling on my day off. That's all.
That's dope, man. Glorious beard. I love the beard, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow my little peach fuzz out, man. That's dope.
This is fun. This is awesome. So
Yeah,
what are we doing today?
So I am trying to get out of my comfort zone and actually start learning how to pull the trigger, right? So I understand quality over quantity, but I really feel like the experience of actually just pulling the trigger and getting people to talk about it is going to kind of get into that comfort zone of, I can just come in and ask that simple question, what makes a hero? And then people can kind of dive in and, answer in the way that they feel comfortable.
Okay. All right.
man.
Well, to you, what makes a hero? Obviously, what's there's no such thing as a perfect hero. I wouldn't say you can't be a perfect hero. So I think it's a fine line. And a hero's whatever it means to you, like just helping someone cross the street or preventing some tragedy. There's so many different levels of being a hero, or just being a good person.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that they have more heroes now, or have heroes kind of died off?
Something like in the comic book industry?
I'm talking about in real life.
In real life. Yeah. Yes. Who said it? Who said this? And it really stuck with me. LL Cool J said there's a difference between a nice guy and a good guy. A good guy. Well, what's the difference? Well, what is the difference between a nice guy and a good guy? A nice guy would, help someone across the street or give his friend money if they are short on a bill. But, you know, a nice guy can also get hit in the face and he'll hit back. Does that make him a good guy? You know? Like, so what it like there's I don't feel as though there's a such thing as a good guy mentality. There's a moral compass. And if you know, like you can be a goon, you know, but at the same time, it's like if you have a good moral compass, you know what's right for you and for your family and the people you are around, then you're good in that aspect. Um, if I can make it seem like if I can translate it in a comic book perspective, like a villain is a good guy in his mind. You know, an origin to a villain is the same thing as an origin to a hero. It's just like, for example, Magneto is a villain, but he has purpose and his cause is just. So does that make him a villain or does that make him a good guy?
Yeah, I really like that analogy of the hero and the villain having the same origin story, but just chose a different path. Where we have Batman who, witnessed something horrific and he decided to become Batman. And then we have Joker who probably witnessed something horrific and decided to do Batman.
Yeah. Now I have a question for you.
Okay.
Magneto, a Holocaust survivor. He witnessed his parents die. He survived the Holocaust due to his powers. Is he justified for his way of thinking, his logic?
See, I feel like he is justified with his thinking and logic. The scary thing is that sometimes the truth can be really frightening. If we actually took Magneto's thought process and actually, like Thanos, cleanse the world, then it actually would be a better place. But the fearful thing is about pulling that trigger, is that the moment you go down that road and you hold on. Oh, baby.
The timer's done.
Okay, you guys can have a few more minutes. Once you pull that trigger on humanity, there's no going back. And what I mean by that is that you're going to create this utopia world, but there's going to be rules, laws, regulations, policing. That's what Magneto and people like, Injustice, Superman are trying to, hey, if we decide to go bad or if we decide that we want the world to be a better place, there's going to be policing. There's going to be, hard laws that, are going to have consequence of death. We even get into the logic of, would it be wrong or would it be against the law to get a divorce?
Mm-hmm.
To try and ease the tension on, however it may work. If we were to say that you can't get a divorce, it's against the law. If you get a divorce without some kind of, something tangible, then you have to spend 150 days in jail. Well, now how many people are actually going to get divorced? You see what I'm saying? Like when you build,
I got divorced 2 years ago, and it wasn't my choice. So that means I have to force my ex-wife to be with me because against her own will. Now that means that's slavery. Think about it. I own her. She has my last name. She doesn't want to be with me. So it's I think certain topics you got, not saying you, but certain topics you got to think about it from every angle.
Right.
And like, did I want to get divorced? No, at no cost I wanted to get divorced. But I have to allow my ex-wife to be happy, and that means without me, that's what it is. Like, we have kids and all, and they got really messy, but I'm not going to make her or force her to be with a man that she doesn't love anymore. Like that just causes chaos. Would you want to be stuck in a house with someone you don't like? Yeah. Like, You know what I mean?
Hey, my
So
brother, I feel like what you're saying right now, you're actually reaching a lot of listeners or a lot of people because a lot of us are going through that.
yeah, yeah, So I don't know. I think divorce it should be a harder process to get out of. Yeah,
Mm.
I agree with that. You like it's easier to get divorced than it is to get married. And you know, if you're religious, you got married under God. I'm not trying to make it a religious
Yeah, no, yeah, I guess.
but it unless if you and your spouse are really going through a violent time of your life, then get out of there. Divorce is highly necessary. But just two individuals growing apart and falling out of love, you should try to keep that bridge connected at all costs. You shouldn't, whatever it takes, especially if there's kids involved, shouldn't just burn bridges because it's an everlasting bitterness you're going to have with that person. Like two people that get divorced, they don't become best friends, you know? There's a reason why you cannot be around that person anymore. And, but I do believe that there should be counseling. There should be deep subject matter. There should be a lot of um, talking through it, you know, and trying to figure out angles to keep it together. But we're as people, you know, we don't do that. We talk it, but we don't always do it. You know, emotions get involved, and you you make dumb decisions, I guess.
Okay, for those that are listening in, as what would be the hero way to no, bro? Like it's a struggle. So, from your viewpoint, what are some things you can do in order to save the relationship that you know now, but you didn't know back then?
Counseling, not being afraid to show core emotion. Like not thinking it's to be tough. A lot of people, a lot of men think it's um not tough to show emotion, and a lot of divorce, some rate of divorce starts with a man not really viewing his wife as a friend, but as only a wife. You know, like friends can get in fights and they may take a minute away from each other, come back, and they go, "Yo, bro, that was stupid. Let's move forward." Relationships, a lot of relationships don't last like that. I've seen relationships end just because of a disagreement, but then they butt heads with their friends, and within 24 hours they're having a beer together, saying, "Yo, what we just did was stupid." You know, so being very verbal, not being such an introvert, especially if you like if you're willing to fight for your relationship, talk about it, express yourself at all in all forms of expression. You know, allow that person to feel that you're just as vulnerable as she or he is. You know, figure out your mutual connection. At least that's my way of looking at it.
No, that's really positive advice, man. That's something that I'm gonna even you don't even know it yet, but I'm gonna take with me on my journey because relationships can be hard, especially not just for the hero, but for the warrior, the rich man, the poor man. There's not a lot of they have education out there, but we have to remember that a lot of us don't even know how to get it and read it and really comprehend and understand it. Like it takes a science. But man, it's just so interesting how what makes a hero work, right? Because we're all trying to go down that road. And I needed this talk.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's funny how God works, my brother, because it's just funny how I believe in God. So it's just funny how this works, man. Like the second that you're praying for patience or you're asking for guidance, he sends somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Mysterious ways, right? Like when it comes to that, like you can't force it. You gotta, like you said, everyone has a plan, and he has a plan for everybody. And when you try to skip steps and you try to mimic other people, you're not being yourself and you're not living your life. You know, like it takes patience, and sometimes you wish that it wasn't as hard today, but there's still tomorrow.
All right, let me ask you this. How can a hero learn patience?
By taking a loss. By taking a loss. It's like for example, Superman thought he was the strongest thing on Earth until he got introduced to kryptonite, and then he got smart, and then he thought twice about Lex Luthor. He looked at Lex Luthor more of just a man, but now he's an obstacle. He's a threat, but doesn't mean he lost himself in it. He just got smart. Um, Heroes that go every day and they're always winning, winning, winning. Good for you. No one wants to lose, but you don't learn and you don't evolve until you take that loss. You don't really know who you are until you come back from something. You know, like you don't know your limits until you've been put down. And how long is it going to take for you to get back up? And who are you after getting back up? You know, like Mike Tyson said it straight up. You can go into a fight with a plan, but once you get hit in the face, that plan goes out the window. What are you going to do then?
Bro, I'm taking notes. Because it's true. Because like with Mike Tyson and getting into the ring, I love to, practice mixed martial arts. But the issue that I have is that practicing gets you your body movement right, but it's never the same in any fight. It's never the same. And that's why you always have to keep practicing. That's why you always have to watch videos. And it's really encouraging. What makes a hero in a relationship is never giving up and being patient and talking about your feelings, going to therapy. Oh man, that makes a hero, man.
Yeah, like that really is to really know oneself. That I think that is the beginning of becoming a hero. Like there's no such thing as a perfect hero. There's a perfect villain, but no such thing as a perfect hero because it's hard to be a hero. Like it's hard to do good 100% of the time. If you want to think about what Batman said, Batman knows, there will be casualties. Can't save everybody, Clark. He knows he's not a hero. He's a vigilante, and he accepts that. It doesn't mean he chooses to do wrong. He also has a moral compass. He doesn't kill and he fights crime, but he knows he's not a good guy. In order for him to keep doing what he's doing, he has to beat up a couple cops. That's a felony, no matter how you look at it. You know, so he knows he's not a good guy. It's just he has a good moral compass.
No, that's really deep because I'm learning how to pull that trigger, right? And Batman is somebody I know about his moral code, but I don't put it past him. See, ever since I watched Red Hood and he didn't pull that trigger, I've been disappointed, right? Because I'm like, well, that was the moment you should have pulled the trigger.
Oh
But then I'm
no!
all, okay.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry. Finish your thought, man. My bad.
Bro, go, man. This is dope. Go.
That was the ultimate test right there. Like, if he would have pulled that trigger, you might as well just take his mask off and call him Joker. Like that was the ultimate test. Like they try to make it seem like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And at that moment, yeah, Joker needed Batman to save him. And Batman's second Robin was his son. And he made him choose either kill me or no, he was like, I'm gonna kill you or you're gonna kill Joker. And Batman managed to find a way to be the hero. He saved a life by sacrificing his life. You know, so and yeah, Robin, Red Hood, he's the one that couldn't pull the trigger. You know, like he's the one that got the crap kicked out of him, died, came back just to have somebody do his dirty work. Why couldn't he do it himself? Because he also has a good moral compass.
Bro, this is so deep because it's
Yo,
deep. So when I'm asking this question, like I say, there is a story here, and one day I'm gonna write. I'm gonna tell the book. At least I'm gonna make a podcast about it
okay.
because that's why it's so hard to pull the trigger. Like I'm sitting here wondering why it's so hard for me to ask for help, or why it's so hard for me to ask for the interview, or why it's so hard for me to do the right thing. And man, it's because like I'm on that road of a moral compass trying to decide if I want to be. I don't consider myself a hero, but when I say hero's journey, it also means warrior's journey, happy husband, happy life. The hero's journey is that moral dilemma that we always face on doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. And bro, this deep dive is like the ultimate test. Robin, can you pull the trigger? Like let's just say, like, I understand me as Batman, I didn't pull the trigger because, in my mind, I've already prepared for your death a million times so that I can get over it. But when it
Yeah.
came down to actually needing to pull the trigger, there was still no need to pull the trigger.
No, and in some ways, um, if Robin was to pull the trigger, that also means Bruce Wayne, not Batman, but Bruce Wayne failed. Like the whole reason, like if you think about all these Robins, well, mainly Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, Batman, Bruce Wayne trained these two individuals to fight crime, but also they gave them an outlet to not to really suppress their rage, but to extinguish their rage. Um, if Red Hood would have pulled that trigger and killed Joker, that would have been an ultimate fail for Batman. That means all of his teaching would have been out the window. And the moral investment that he put into Red Hood would have been for nothing. And Red Hood knew that, and that's why he didn't pull that trigger because Batman, Bruce Wayne, brought him up to not be a killer. Yeah, he did kill a lot of people, a lot of mob bosses, but the hardest thing to do is to not wrong someone that intentionally wronged you. And to do so, to not do that that's maximum effort. That's maximum strength right there. Like how many people can punch you in the face and you just walk away with a smile on your face and say I forgive you? That doesn't happen very often. Well, that's kind of what Red Hood had to do at the end of the day to Joker. Very complex situation that happened in that condemned apartment complex. Right?
Yeah, right. That was but bro, it is so amazing to see such a different perspective because you opened my eyes and my heart to the thought that, I mean, don't hurt the people that hurt you.
Yeah. I watched this one interview with Jet Li, and I haven't seen Jet Li in a minute. Like he's in China. I believe he's Chinese. If he's not, I'm sorry for disrespecting you. But he started hanging out with monks and not monks, yeah, and took up Buddhism, I believe. Just he went on a spiritual journey, and he had an interview, and they were like, "Well, you were being the fastest and one of the best martial artists in the world. What would you do in this situation?" And his first remark was, "The strongest weapon you have isn't your skill; it's your heart. It's a smile. Like you can beat somebody up, but you can't beat someone into respecting you. You can only beat them into fearing you." But if you tell your enemy, hey man, I'm sorry, or just give them a smile, it changes, it reflects, it changes the person across from you perspective of you, and it lightens them. Yeah, in the real world, if you smile at your opponent, you might get hit, yeah, but he's not going, that person won't walk away with the idea of he stood toe to toe to me and we got into a battle. 9 times out of 10, he's going to walk away and was like, this guy smiled at me and I hit this man for no reason. He only tried to show me kindness and I hit him. And that right there, that inner battle alone will long last be not self-defeating but self-uprising. Like wars and peace isn't done overnight, you know? To make peace is just as big as a battle, a raging war. It's easy. It's easy to be hateful. It's hard to be kind. It's hard to keep a smile on your face. Like you can wake up angry all day, you know, but it's it's hard to suppress and extinguish that rage, especially if someone did you wrong, you know? Like you can always get over it, but you won't forget it. And that's, I don't know, just a thing, I guess. At least that's my perspective.
Yeah, man. Now, let me tell you this. You seem at peace, but I always want to ask, how are you doing for real?
For real? How am I doing for real? Oh man, okay. I'll be straight up with you, man. Well, as you know, I own my own business, and that's a everyday stress. I have a lot of friends that still have 9 to 5s, and they're like, "Oh man, you own your own business." I'm like, "Yeah, but if I get no business today, I just work for free." Like I don't get paychecks. I don't get paid hourly like everyone else. So I'm constantly thinking about, especially on those slow months or those slow seasons, um, how am I going to pay next month's rent? That is a priority. That is sometimes a question that pops up in my head, and it always manages to works itself out. Like I'm always going to be where I'm at. I'm never going to go. I'm never going to fail at what I do at all costs. I won't do that. But yeah, like that's one thing that is a consistent thing on my mind is, you know, how to maintain what I don't, how to maintain what I want to do with the rest of my life, business wise. Um, like I told you in the beginning of this, I'm divorced, going on 3 years. I will be divorced right now. 2 years. I have a 8 and 9 year old, so I got to deal with that. Right now, my kids are with me on this part of the week, and then I drop them back off at their mom's on Saturday. I'm sorry, Friday night, and um, trying to maintain some kind of cordial friendship with my ex-wife for the benefit of our kids. That's something that's continuously on my mind. Um, and just like everybody else, man, just waking up and saying, get the hell out of bed and start your day. Sometimes it's harder than the rest. And sometimes I'm looking forward to the next day. I'm only human. And I feel like that's something, I feel as though that's something everyone can relate to. Like sometimes it is hard getting out of bed, but you still got to do it. Like I didn't feel like doing it today, but I'm like, shit, I got to take my kids to school. I got to be a dad today. I'm a dad every day, but I got to be a dad today and get up and take them to school. And, I got to wash clothes and just live an everyday life. And, bro, some days I just want to chill on the couch and just do nothing because I get one day off. And that's today. And it's like, man, I just don't feel like doing shit today. But here we are. Not this is awesome. Not you. It's just like, not you at all, bro. I love this. But I mean, just the day to day stuff, chores, just crap like that.
No, my brother, thank you so much for that because I'm definitely Wow, bro, because that's a lot to unpack. I didn't even realize you were like going through that, but you seem happy. Keep up the good work, man. Keep up the business. Keep grinding. Keep trying. Keep doing right, my brother, because you're doing it. And let me tell you, because something that I'm learning is that people can say, "Oh, you look happy," or "Oh, you look good," right? But it's kind of like empty. I can tell by your smile. I can tell by your glow. I can tell by your beard. I can tell by the way that you get up every morning. I can tell by your energy that you're giving me right now. My brother, keep it up, man, because you're encouraging somebody, man. You're
Thank you.
encouraging me, man. Honestly, like you're encouraging me, man, because we all deal with challenging relationships. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to get too much into it because it's the question has been answered. What makes a hero? And I mean, like we can, there's a difference between the good guy and the nice guy. That moral compass. Here the hero and villain origin stories are very similar. You don't know your limits until you lose. That was something that was so dope that you were saying. I didn't even consider that. You don't know your limits until you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Mike Tyson quote about stepping into the ring and you're never going to be prepared. You're always, you don't know what to expect. As long as you go in prepared, that's all you can do.
Yeah. Very true, man. Very, very true.
Hey, my brother, listen, thank you for coming in. I don't want to take up too much time. This was so dope. This was dope, bro.
Well, thank you for having me. This was fun. I really more often. We got to do this more often.
Yeah, definitely. And it actually helped me because it's helping me to learn to pull the trigger. You're gonna be my first. I've had others, but I'm gonna work on this one. Like I'm gonna work on this. And brother, thank you so much for that DC book. I still read it. The other history of DC.
Yeah, you like it? Where you at in the book?
I finished it. I finished it a long time ago.
Bro. Okay, I have one left in my store. I was gonna keep, I was that was my reader copy, but I read it already. And then when I gave you one, I was like, man, I wanted to replace it. So I just took my copy and I put it in the store, and it's still there. But yeah, that is a good book. That is a very good book. Have you checked out Crisis 2 yet? Just came out, was
the
it yesterday?
the book or the animated?
The animated.
No, I gotta find a place to watch it. I
Mm.
gotta find a place to watch it. Bro, it's so funny getting into this collection game because I have two boys. Funds are kind of low, so you know how that is. But bro, I want everything. I want everything, and it's kind of hard to budget into like I got things saved. Once I hit it big, bro, I'm gonna buy everything I want, man.
I just acquired four. I said four, four comic books. Oh man, it was Black Panther first appearance of Gorilla, White Gorilla, and then I don't remember what issues they are, but there's a 3-issue run of Black Panther against the KKK, and I think that's issue 11, 12, 13, or issue 20 in the 20s or 64. I have so many comics, bro. I have well over 1,000 comics. And yeah, well, I'm gonna when I get to my shop tomorrow, I'm gonna take videos and I'll send you a link so you can check them out. But I did find that cowboy western that comic book you were talking about.
Yeah, yeah, I saw it on eBay. That's on my list too.
$10, bro. Like, I saw them for hire. I was like, yo, let me help you out and see if I can find one at the lowest cost in a good condition. And it was like $10. So hey. So
You know
yeah,
what? Let me say this. Selling. I'm thinking about selling my collection and trying to get like 150 because I've seen like the whole collection for like 150. That way you don't have to like buy single issues and pay so much on shipping.
wait, no, no, no. You're gonna steal your whole comic book collection?
No, 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 no. I was thinking about getting. Okay, look, this is how I'll do it. Once I buy the whole collection, My
Uh,
extras, then I'll probably either give away or like to try to make up the difference, sell those. I might
yeah,
just give them away too, man.
yeah.
I might just
Like
give them
honestly,
away.
every person that comes into my comic shop, I give them one comic book. If like I feel like your first comic book should never be paid for. It should always be for free. So anytime a parent brings in their kid and they buy them comics, I always tell them to go in their box, find your favorite superhero, and pull it out, and that's on me. And it's just like I said, like in this comic book industry, in the comic book world, and the fandom, like no, I don't feel like anybody that reads comic books, their first comic book they didn't have to pay for. So like, do you recall your first comic book? Did you have to buy it, or was it
Yeah,
given to you?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I had to buy my first comic book.
You had to buy yours. Well, that's why I gave you some comics. Like
Yeah.
everybody, everybody should at least they're starting in this expensive hobby. They should get at least their first comic book for free, and
All right.
it's just a rite of passage. Like it's like me saying welcome to my world, or to our world.
I have a confession. My first comic book was Archie. I love Archie comics. I actually collected the digest books, and I had thousands of those. So like now I have Black comics, right? But
Uh,
years ago it was Archie. Like I was a big fan of Archie, and when I say a fan, I mean I watched Riverdale. I had all the old posters. I had the books. I didn't get into the action figures, but I had a crush on Betty and Veronica, bro.
I have so many of that. Like, you want it? I have a lot of that. I mean, like a couple hundred of Betty and Veronica and Archie. I give them away or put them in my dollar bin. If you want them, I need the space. So if you want them, think about it. Or I'll send you a couple of and they're in decent condition. But yeah, I don't mind throwing them away. I don't mind giving them away. Especially if you enjoy that. Why, here, you can have them. But I remember my first comic book wasn't Marvel or DC. It was Lazy Sunday, Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Calvin and Hobbes, bro. I still read Calvin and Hobbes. But yeah, that was my first introduction to what a comic book was. And then after that, it was what Incredible Hulk and New Mutants. Yeah, but it all started with Lazy Sunday, Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah.
Bro, that is so dope to get the history behind, because everyone assumes that your first comic book would be something everyone knows, Hulk or
No.
Wolverine. But yeah, I used to read them too. So back in elementary school, they used to come with the digest bundles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to read those. I used to read
Sunday paper.
those.
It was the Sunday paper. My mom used to get the Sunday paper. She would give me the comic strip area, and she would read me Calvin and Hobbes. And then as I got older, I just read Calvin and Hobbes. And I would go past the Garfield. I would go past, I think it was Family Circus. I would go past that, past the Charlie Brown, straight up Calvin and Hobbes. I used to cut them out and collect them. Yeah.
You know what, bro? You proved me wrong. I did get my first comic book for free, or comic panel for free. And I
Yeah.
remember my mom sent me in for a Sunday paper for the first time. And I was like, what, 4 or 5, and she like to teach me responsibility. I walked into the store, and remember the stores used to have the newspaper stand. So you could grab
Yes.
it and just put your money on the counter and go. I
Mhm.
didn't know anything about the Sunday comics. So my mom's going through them. She's like, I'm bored in the back seat because we didn't have Game Boys or smartphones or tablets or anything like that. So she
Mhm.
gave me the Sunday comics. And yeah, that's where I fell in love with like comics and reading, learning how to read and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, see, everybody. I think it's very few number of people that bought their first comic book. I feel like everyone that started this, like I said, this expensive group hobby that we have. it's you start out by someone saying, "Yo, check this out." There you go. And then it opens your mind to imagination, and next thing you know, you got comic book boxes in your closet stacked up that high, you know, or you're buying that $400 beat up comic because it came out in like 1960. And at least that's me. And I have a bad habit. I'm addicted to comic books. Like I used to before I owned a comic book shop, I used to spend one full paycheck on comic books. Like after bills were due, I would get my paycheck. Well, after bills were paid, sorry, and I got make sure I got some money in my savings, and then yeah, I would spend one paycheck at the comic book shop. It was called Poppin' Comics. Yeah, and he actually here in where I'm at in Port Charlotte, but they closed down and they started introducing Magic cards and Pokemon tournaments and Magic tournaments to their comic book shop and comic book shop comic readers and magic, you know, fans, they don't really mix. Like whenever you start introducing like magic tournaments, you kind of push out the comic book readers, or they kind of stop coming, and that's how a lot of comic book shops here in my town went out of business because they like if you, for example, if you have a group of friends and you want to go to a comic book shop, you're buying comic books and you're buying issue one. You're gonna come back the next week and get issue two, three, so on and so forth. And you're also gonna have a pull list, so you're gonna end up having a stack of comics. People who so that's money coming in, you know, consistently. And then you have people that come in to play Magic the Gathering. Usually they're bringing their own stuff. They're sitting at a table for hours and they're just playing Magic. No money is coming in or out of the shop. The shop is making no money at all. But there it's full. There's people, but those they're not spending money on anything unless they buy like one card or one deck. But usually they already come in with their own stuff. You know, comic book fans they don't come in with comic books. They go there to receive comic books. So, you know, that's why at my store I don't do that. It's just comic books, toys, collectibles, and I also make 3D prints and cosplay items and movie memorabilia. If you want me to make that, I do that. But like Magic tournaments, Pokemon tournaments, nah. I'll leave that for the other guys. You know? Yeah.
No, that's dope, my brother. Yeah, man, I need another ring. I accidentally broke it. I'm sorry.
You're all
It,
good.
bro, but no, I was so proud of that ring, bro. I'm not gonna blame. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna blame the kids, right? My son ended up getting his hands on it. It's not his fault. It's my fault because I saw it and just didn't pick it up anyway. But
I'll
yeah,
let
it
you
was
know.
so dope. It was dope, man.
Because I actually have to make a Cal Rena ring. I have right now. I have somebody that wants. I had to custom make him gauntlets, and he wanted. He wants to be Cal Rena cosplay. He's a big fan of Green Lantern, obviously. And right now, I'm making him a mask that's gonna be halfway glow in the dark, half not, just like his gauntlets. And I know he wants me to make him a glow in the dark ring as well, and I'm trying to figure out a way to make a lantern that when you touch the ring with the lantern glows. I know I can figure it out, and if I can, I'll send you one.
All right, cool. So check it out. You can also, it's hard to do with putting the ring to the lantern, but you can get like a light switch, right? And program it in there where, oh, okay. I don't know if you took electric class or whatever. You know your circuit board, your motherboard, where you can like trace and map out your own design. The flip on the
Yes.
name. Okay, so there's one where you can put a button instead of a light switch, right? And then all you would have to do with the ring is push it up against the button, and then it'll, I don't know,
Hmm.
try.
Well, I know I know I want to make this all out of resin. So once it lights up, the whole thing illuminates. Kind of like how I made your ring. That is made out of resin, not filament. Out of, just do some research on 3D printing and resin printing. If you want to make something that's transparent or make something that's looks like glass or jewel, it's best to go resin. It's transparent as you saw with the ring, and it gives it almost like a glass type transparent effect. So that means lights will go through it or illuminate it. So I would like to make a green lantern, like a lantern, out of that. So when I do introduce light to it, the whole thing will illuminate, and that would take away the glow in the dark effect. Because I could easily do it out of filament and spray it with glow in the dark, spray paint, and yeah, it'll glow in the dark. But if I did it out of resin, it will glow in the dark, the daytime, morning, noon, night, all the time. So I'm thinking about I'm trying to figure out how to do something like that, and it just why not, And obviously it's gonna come with like a battery pack at the bottom. It's gonna be easy reassemble. Take the battery out and pop a new one in. It's probably gonna use the little circle batteries, kind of like the watch batteries. Just to keep it like. So I don't like when I do prints like I don't like. I like to keep the illusion of realism. So I like to hide the electronics or the battery pack either on the bottom or somewhere inside, just so when people like use these things, they use them for cosplay, and they take cosplayers, they take it seriously. And I don't want no wires hanging out or something that doesn't look like it should go with the theme. So I always like to plan and prep before I start my projects. But we'll hook you up with another ring. I'll probably make it a little thicker. I'll make it thicker. Long break. Yeah.
Thicker.
And I will. I promise. I got you.
My brother, thank you, man. Listen, my kids are gonna be coming in soon. This was dope, man. Thank you so much for this, my brother.
You're very welcome.
This was dope, man. But hey, man, have a good day. Take like Dad Day, man. Take them. I don't know what you guys do, but have fun with them, man.
We're going to the park. We're gonna probably go to the park. I live here. I live in South Florida, so I got ocean and canals all over the place. We're gonna probably grab a fishing rod, go to the park, play, yada yada yada. But I just want to let you guys know who's watching, and you also check out my podcast, Popping Through Culture, with my co-host Chris, Mr. Make It Nerdy. Right now we're doing our review on X-Men 97, which I know you got to go because I got to go pick up my kids 2 by 5. But did you see the last episode? Did you see episode 5 of X-Men? Please say yes. You didn't watch it, did you?
Not yet, man, because I still have. Listen, I fell asleep on Invincible last night. Like I had Invincible playing in the background, and I fell asleep. So okay. I need to catch up. But I have seen I seen episode 3.
Uh-huh. But all right. Once again, like I said, man, let me let you get going. I gotta get going as well. And just bless and be happy, bro, and keep it positive.
Amen. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Later.